Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of An Everyday Life of an Aspie. If you're new to my channel, I'm Aspie. I welcome you with open arms, and I'm here to give you guys tips and advice along the way, as well as spreading the word about creating mental health and awareness of everyday, personal struggles of our personal health disorders, regardless of what it may be. I'm all about health and awareness versus sharing my life stories with suspicious syndrome and the like that comes with the territory with it, with some tips and advice along the way, as well as just sharing my life experiences. Just to bear in mind though, when I do share out my advice or whatever it may be, just to be, accepting enough just to, let me speak my mind as I do with you guys, and I've been trying to support you all, and also basically just to be supportive of everyone regardless, because as I said before, that sometimes we never know who's struggling with what, because obviously some people just sit there in silence, not, speaking out, but they don't need to suffer no more in silence of whatever they're going through. I feel like it's now to break the chain of that silence and actually speak out whatever it may be that they're facing when they're brave enough to do so. So without further ado, guys, basically this one's the last part of my mental health part of it, which I'm hoping to do more of the mental health stuff. This is, my beauty formations and everything else before the end of the year, which is going to be full on probably next year in 2017, maybe, who knows, but I'm not sure yet. I can't predict that. So this is part 3 on how to cope with the panic attack, obviously, and this is getting help. Just before I begin this, as always, a disclaimer: I'm no medical doctor. I'm just sharing my life stories, experiences, with tips and advice along the way based on my training experiences and know-how through, Youthline or any other training I have made done in the past to now. So please respect what I'm giving to you. So if you see any classic warning signs, however, or symptoms that rings alarm bells to you, seek professional help or professional advice. I do not wish for anyone, or shall I say, I don't wish to condone anyone for that matter to actually self-harm themselves in any way they do. So let's begin this part 3 of the last one of getting help of how to cope with panic attacks. Okay, number 1, engage in cognitive behavior therapy. CBT for short. When seeking out treatment, mental health professionals will probably recommend or will require us to seek their practices with doing CBT. The therapist will help you to identify any unpredictable thinking patterns which might lead to anxiety or dysfunctional responses, as well as any possible triggers from your panic attacks and everything else that causes you to lead to that state of anxiety and whatnot. Gradually, you'll be exposed to the specific conditions you may be afraid of or uncomfortable around. This can desensitize your anxiety. CBT functions to train your thoughts and behaviors to support you and not to cause you any more problems. Advice here is practicing CBT along with breathing techniques can be helpful tools for calming your panic down and focusing on whatever else is happening around you in that present moment. Number 2, identify situations that trigger your panic attacks. You may want to make a list of the kinds of situations in which panic attacks happens for you. This can also help you identify when panic attack seems to happen. This way you'll be able to prepare to use coping techniques like gradual exposure of CBT, as I just mentioned before, or even just your awareness and breathing techniques, as I mentioned also before. Advice here is being proactive towards your panic attacks, however, can make you feel more in control of your life as well as these panic attacks when they come on, and will buffer out the effects of panic attacks that will have on your mood and behavior. Number 3, let people who are close to you know about your panic attacks. It's good to actually seek out people around us when we do go through tough times of our mental health or whatever it may be, because obviously at the end of the day we should be able to clearly explain the situation as possible to our loved ones that are looking out for us. If we are struggling, it's best to try and describe. If you're struggling to describe the attacks, I should say, print out some information about the panic attacks for them to read. This may be helpful for people who don't get panic attacks, who may have had a time to understand what they are, etc. So it can create a form of awareness, understanding, and knowing the signs and symptoms so that they can help you in the best ways they should. People that care about you will also appreciate knowing that how you're actually feeling and what you're actually feeling at that given moment of time, basically, and then they'll be well prepared and actually support you as best as they can in that given moment. You may be surprised also though how supportive they will be and how helpful their support might feel. So never forget, you're never alone. Every once in a while I'm sharing this, there be someone who will likely to have suffered this before. So strong social support systems is my advice here to have been shown to be essential in dealing with our everyday stresses, especially in cases of anxiety disorders. Number 4, talk with your doctor about prescription medications. As I said before, that there are alternative treatments out there to manage and treat different mental health disorders and the like. Bed, some will be your prescription medications versus some people may believe herbal remedies, some may believe that, doing other things that will make them calm and present, like, I don't know, they may want to paint, draw, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's up to them, and also when it comes down to these prescription medications, be sure to know the side effects and whatnot. Be sure to read the label so that if you are counteracting with some other medication with these I'm about to share, that you'll know the side effects, and that if anything doesn't feel right, if you did choose these prescription medications over the herbal remedies, basically just to be sure that they're the right ones for you in the first place with the right doses and everything else that you need to counteract with the side effects. Prescription medications such as your tricyclic antidepressants, beta blockers, benzodiazepines, monoamine oxidase inhibitors or MAOIs, and selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or as they abbreviate it down as SSRIs, can significantly lower the likelihood of panic attack episodes and many more episodes of your anxiety versus depression and everything else. But again, as I said before, you need to check what type of prescription medication will be best for you so that it doesn't counteract or affect you in any way. Number 5, reflect on your family history. Yes, I know it may sound weird, but what I mean here is obviously with our medical history from, our parents, caregivers, guardians, whatever, it may have stemmed through our family lines somewhere. Panic attacks and anxiety disorders can be traced through families. By understanding our family history, this will help us get a better understanding of what triggers the anxiety in our family members, how they coped with it, what we can learn from their own experiences. It's all about sharing the experiences in there. My advice here, though, is don't be afraid to ask your family members about their experiences with anxiety. Reach out to them and have honest conversations with your family about anxiety so you can better understand what is going on within yourself and with others that may suffer the same thing. Number 6, last but not least, realize that you're not alone. Keep in mind how many people may experience panic attacks on a given every day. Some have estimated that has been suggested that 6 million people in America alone may have panic attacks, with women suffering from them almost twice as often as men. But the number of people who have a single panic attack at some point in their lives is probably much higher. Many of these people get help from various types of support groups. My advice here to you all, if you want to speak face to face with other people who have had panic attacks, don't be afraid to attend any meetings that they have around in your local area for support groups and share a story with them. Or even another thing is maybe if you have the courage enough is to do what I'm doing and many others that's been doing it, as a share their stories online basically through the social medias, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the like. Choice is yours, though, at the end of the day. Well, basically, that is the last part of how to cope with a panic attack, part 3, getting help. Give me the like for thumbs up for support and engagement. Feel free to comment below, either to say hello or anything I missed, or even just opening up for discussion for you all who may be suffering from this, and hopefully that you can give us some tips and advice along the way, or to even just give your story out on the description below and how you managed it in your everyday daily. I'm not here to judge, as I said. I'm here to support as much as I can. Do feel free to, follow me on the social media sites of Facebook and Twitter, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to subscribe to my channel for more updates if you want some more updates of these kind of things, or just anything in general that you want to be aware of what's going on with me. Feel free to do so. Feel free to also share these videos around to family and friends so we can create an awareness and understanding within one another, as well as just getting to know one another, engage with one another of our differences of how we manage and cope with our everyday situations. So, enough of this, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Do what you love. Love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you all again soon.